Collecting the cards of an individual player is pretty straightforward. So is collecting sets of cards. Trying to put together true team sets, though, especially championship-winning teams, presents some challenges that the big card companies seem to make more difficult. The Phillies won the National League pennant in 2022, and many collectors would like to preserve that team in their personal collections, but many of the players don't have cards. In total, 56 individual players took the field for the Phillies during the 2022 season. There are 32 Phillies players featured on cards in the 22 Topps base set, 8 of whom didn't play a single game for the Phils at all. That leaves only 24 of the 56 players who played in 22 who got a card in a Phillies uniform. Here's what the 2022 opening day roster looked like. In addition to these 26 players, bullpen pitcher James Norwood started the year on the bereavement list, and utility outfielder Odubel Herrera began on the DL. Teams can start with 28 men on the roster, but have to pare it back to 26 by May 1st. Inclusive of Topps Series 1, Series 2, and the Update Series, the following players on the opening day roster got a baseball card for 2022. All 5 of the starting rotation pitchers. Only 2 of the bullpen, Brad Hand and Juris Familia. Both catchers, all of the infielders except for Johan Camargo, and all of the outfielders except for Mickey Moniak. Both James Norwood and Odubel Herrera got cards too. Neither Camargo or Moniak have a 2022 card at all. Moniak got a card in 21 for the Phils, as did Connor Brogdon. Camargo spent most of 21 in the minors, so he didn't get a card that year either. His last card was 2020 with the Braves. The rest of the bullpen is a smattering of rookies and journeymen that don't have Phillies cards at all, except for Corey Knebel, who despite getting hurt in August after pitching rather poorly, and only having a one-year contract that in no way would be offered again, somehow has a 2023 card? Who at Topps made that decision? All these guys didn't play for the Phils in 22. The Phillies signed Nick Castellanos, featured here along with his gold refractor, on March 22nd, and so designated for assignment rookie Luke Williams, who was ultimately traded to the Giants on the 27th, just before the season started. About the same time, McCutchen signed with the Brewers, Brad Miller signed with the Rangers, Ian Kennedy signed with the Diamondbacks, and Archie Bradley signed with the Dodgers. They were all free agents and none were expected to return. Torreyes started at AAA Lehigh Valley, but was ultimately released. Hans Kraus also started in AAA, but suffered an early bicep injury and was released. The Phils released Freddie Galvis after the 21 season ended, and with no prospects in sight for the 2022 season, he skipped the country to go play in the Japanese League. Seriously, why is his card here? He was never going to play in 22. Who at Topps is making these decisions? Well, moving on. Roman Quinn started the season in AAA and was called up early when Bryson Stott was sent down to get some regular at-bats and figure out his swing. Quinn played a few games, but was DA'd on June 1st and opted for free agency. Simon Muzziotti got an early season call-up too, just long enough to make his official MLB debut, playing in 9 games before getting the boot back to Lehigh Valley, where he still plays today. Same thing for Francisco Morales. He only saw action in 3 games. Odubel Herrera played off the bench for some of 22, but didn't hit much and was ultimately released at the beginning of August, and good riddance. So then, who are we missing? After all the machinations of the season, including an improbable but exciting playoff run through the NL Championship, here's the World Series roster. The rotation was still the same. In the bullpen, Alvarado, Brogdon, Dominguez, and Nelson played the full season but didn't get a card, not even in the Update Series. Bellotti pitched a lot after he signed, but no card. David Robinson, who has a 2020 Phillies card, came back to the Phils in August from the Cubs via trade. Thor himself, Noah Syndergaard, was a trade deadline pickup in exchange for Mickey Moniak, so his 22 card was with the Angels, as is center fielder Brandon Marsh, who came in on the same deal. Both have a 2023 Series 1 card with the Phillies, though Syndergaard signed with the Dodgers in December. Nick Maton got a card with the 2021 Update set, but not in 22. Edmundo Sosa was another trade deadline pickup, whose 2022 card is with the Cardinals. So let's run the numbers. Of the 2022 Topps set, only 81% of the cards with a player in a Phillies uniform have a player that actually played for the Phillies in that season. Only 69% of the opening day roster has a card, and only 61% of the World Series roster has a card. These numbers are not great. Well, what about other sets? Marsh and Syndergaard got cards in the 2022 Christmas edition, but you have to be okay with snowflakes and holly and ivy. Topps Now, which should be the perfect outlet for this, adds Nick Maton, Seranthony Dominguez, and Marsh again and again. There was an official Topps Now Phillies postseason set, but it had the same players featured in the base set, no additions. Inclusive of who we can snag on other sets, we're still 7 players short of a real team set for the 2022 National League Championship Phillies. Jose Alvarado is perhaps the most inexcusable exclusion. Out of the bullpen, he pitched in 59 games, posted a 4-2 record, a 3.18 ERA, and a few saves thrown in for good measure. He was a huge part of the team's success and was one of the best bullpen pitchers in the league. No card to be had in any set from any manufacturer. Offering Topps, and I suppose Fanatics now, some feedback, fans want team sets of championship teams. Why not release a playoff update series that specifically includes these players? Sell it at the stadiums during the games, and let the teams sell them in their online stores. I'd buy it, and I know a few million other baseball card collectors who would likely buy them too.